Good day to all of you. Please don't forget to follow Majok or subscribe to our YouTube channel Make Talks. Today we're discussing one of the most talked about young leaders in Africa right now, Ibrahim Traor, a military officer turned revolutionary head of state, and to many a rising Pan-Africanist icon. Exactly. He became the interim president of Burkina Faso in 2022. And what's remarkable is how quickly he positioned himself, not just as a national figure, but as a voice for broader African unity. Yeah, and what stands out is his rhetoric around sovereignty, especially breaking free from what he calls neo-colonial influence. That's central to the Pan-Africanist ideology, right? Totally. He's been very vocal about rejecting foreign control, especially from France. His speeches often echo Sankara's vision, Burkina Faso's former revolutionary leader. Do you think that's intentional? Oh, for sure. Traoré wears that legacy almost like armor. He taps into that nostalgia for self-determination. It's smart politics and also deeply symbolic. He also connects with the youth. I mean, he's only in his 30s. That's rare in African leadership circles. There's this real grassroots energy around him. And that's part of what makes his rise so compelling. He's not just anti-imperialist in theory. He's actively cutting ties with traditional power structures. Remember when he expelled French troops? Absolutely. That move made headlines, but it also raised concerns internationally. Some called it reckless. Others said it was bold and necessary. What's your take? I think it's both. It's risky, but it resonates with people tired of being told what to do by former colonial powers. His approach is confrontational, but for many that's refreshing. What's also interesting is how he's aligning with other Sahel leaders, like those in Mali and Niger, forming what some call a new regional bloc. That feels very Pan-Africanist. It does. They're talking about security, trade, even a joint currency. It's early days, but the ambition is clear. African problems solved by Africans without Western intermediaries, right? And he's promoting African values too, like that speech where he talked about reclaiming cultural pride and rejecting imported ideologies. It struck a chord with many. Yes, it reminded me of Nkrumah, or even Lumumba. That same insistence that Africa doesn't need to mimic the West to be successful. It needs to believe in its own model. But do you think his military background complicates things? I mean, he did come to power through a coup. That's always controversial. True. The legitimacy issue is real. But I think the context matters. Burkina Faso was in chaos, and many felt abandoned by previous civilian leaders. In that vacuum, someone like Traoré can look like a savior. There's definitely a hunger for stability, and if he delivers on security and development, people might not care how he came to power. That's the gamble. And so far, he's kept the focus on nation building and independence. But the clock is ticking. Expectations are high, and if he fails, the dream could collapse. That's the burden of being seen as a Pan-Africanist leader. You're not just leading a country, you're carrying a continent's hopes. Exactly. And that pressure can be intense. Still, I think his rise has sparked important conversations about what African leadership should look like in the 21st century. Agreed. Whether you support him or not, Traoré has shaken up the status quo. He's challenging complacency, and that alone is powerful. Maybe that's his biggest contribution so far. Reviving the Pan-Africanist spirit, not just in words but in action. It's a spirit Africa sorely needs, and only time will tell if he becomes a transformational figure or just another chapter in a long story of unfulfilled promise. Either way, he's made his mark, and the conversation he's ignited is far from over. So here's a thought for our listeners. What does real Pan-African leadership look like to you today? Can it come from within the system, or does it require tearing the system down? Big questions. And we'll be watching closely to see how Traoré writes his next chapter. Until next episode, please follow Majok Wuchok on Facebook and subscribe to Make Talks YouTube channel.